Here's a headline from this morning's Independent. A piece only dropped 25 minutes ago. It's by the journalist Sunny Hundal, and it says, "Why has it fallen to Martin Lewis to save the British public from rising energy bills?" Well, let's ask the man himself. Martin Lewis, why has it fallen to you to save the British public from rising energy bills?
It hasn't. I'm impotent. That's the problem. I feel impotent today. I'm explaining the situation. I don't have any power to do anything. I am completely out of tools to help the most vulnerable, for whom this is a catastrophic, unaffordable price rise that will leave some dying, many others suffering health and mental health problems. And I thought very carefully today about the approach I take on this. And I've had some criticism from the press for catastrophizing. I plead guilty. I have catastrophized this because it is a catastrophe. And I'm now begging and pleading with whomever the new Prime Minister is. It should have been dealt with far sooner. I mean, we've known, I talked about £3,000 October price cap on my TV show. It's recorded back in March. I mean, we've all known this was coming. The price cap is based on a published algorithm with one main variable, which is year ahead wholesale rates. So we've known it was coming. That this is just a crystallization of a number we've been talked about for ages. So all the people saying we need to wait till we know what it is, it's just nonsense. Ofgem would have given the government forward guidance like it did in May if it were asked. So look, it's too late, but that doesn't matter now. I always say, James, the difference between a political activist and someone like me who sees myself as a campaigning journalist is I am not here to try and expose the government failings to ask for a vote. I am here to beg, to plead, to pray that our new Prime Minister understands how urgent this is. And while we've left it late, on the 5th of September, on that day, lays out concrete plans that will stop a sizable chunk of our population having genuine health risks because of lack of food and heat due to this horrible expense, and another sizable chunk of lower and middle earners from having a catastrophic impact on their standard of living.
What would you do?
I would redistribute money from taxation or government debt to lower and middle earners. Energy is a poll tax.
Like a furlough, like a furlough scheme. I mean, you would.
No. I'll be very specific. You
Please.
Understand the nuances here.
Yeah.
I am deliberately being agnostic on the mechanism.
Okay.
The mechanism could be a social tariff. It could be freezing the price cap. It could be just over doubling what the handouts that were given in May were. I don't care, because if I come up with a specific solution, and I have ideas, and there are pros and cons to all of them, then what we get into is a debate over, does that solution work? That's irrelevant. This is not about the mechanics. This is about political will. So I would push the will, but what we have to be plain on, energy is effectively a soft form of poll tax, because energy bills do not rise in proportion to income. The poorest decile do not pay a fraction of the top decile. Only very, very huge houses have really huge energy bills. You know, most, even you go into sort of, the top quarter of homes, they're not that much more than the bottom quarter. So it's a pretty flat rate bill. And therefore, we're going to have to do something that is effectively redistributive, that takes money away from the highest earners, that comes from taxation, or takes money from government debt, and it gives it to those people who will not be able to afford this.
But
and it's, James, I've just been working out a stat, and I'm about to put something on social media, so I'm going to give you an exclusive on it. We both talk a lot.
It's a clash.
Look, in May, the predicted rise in the price cap that the government helped was just over 40%, taking an October bill to 2,800. But here's the crucial bit of that people aren't saying. In May, we had 6 monthly price caps. So that help was to last from October until April, when the predicted October to April rate was 2,800, or up 40%. Ofgem, and we objected to this and put in a consultation objected, has moved it to 3 monthly so that firms don't go bust to help with their cash flow. So we now have a 3 monthly price cap. The projected January price cap is up another 50% on top of the 80%, taking a typical bill to £5,386 pounds a year, pro rata. Now, if you average that over the 6 months, that means instead of the 40% rise that was predicted when the help came in, we're now looking at 121% rise over the same period. Instead of £2,800, we're now looking at £4,450 for a typical home. So that means there is a shortfall of £1,600 prorated over that period on the help that was announced in May. That is the scale of the problem. Now, when you remember that a typical new full state pension is just over £9,000 on the new system, £7,000 on the old system, and we're talking about 5,000 bills, and pensioners tend to use more, never mind the fact those on universal credit get less, you can see why this is just simply mathematically unaffordable for the lowest. There is no cutting back. There is no money saving expert. You could put me, someone who's been doing this for 20 years, into one of those households and do every bit of magic and trick in the book, and I would not even get close to scratching the sides of what is needed here.